Hey, good evening, everybody. This is David Pendleton. I'm going to play some Tour 8 Golf Clash with you. I just wanted to hop on here tonight. I wasn't planning on making a video, but to be honest, I'm just absolutely smashing everybody tonight. We're on a 9-game winning streak. It's all on Tour 8. We're running into a bunch of opponents who are using special balls. You know, I'm sticking with my Quasars. I'm sticking with my Navigators. If you've ever watched my videos, you know that's all that I use. And I figured since I'm on fire, you know, why not? Why not hop on here, record some games? I'm in a good groove, so hopefully I can show you guys a couple things. So we're gonna hop right into the first game. This is one of the newer holes in the game. I think it's only been out for about a month or so. But this is a pretty simple hole. It just has a lot of elevation on it. But you're gonna play this one pretty straightforward. You know, we have a pretty easy wind here. Yeah, it's a high mile-per-hour headwind, but we're just gonna line this shot up, use some overpower, hit the ball perfect. And to be honest with you, you know, I don't really get too concerned on some drives when I'm playing on one-on-one play. So I don't go crazy if I hit it into the rough like that. On a hole like this, I really think I'm going to go to a shootout anyways, because it's a very difficult second shot, you know, to drop for an eagle. So I prefer sometimes to go into the rough. Now, not that I do it on purpose, but, you know, I like to get my needle speed down. The more you're in the rough, you know, on a match you're probably going to tie anyways, the more practice you get with the needle speed XYZ. So, you know, I'm not concerned one bit with that drive. We're just going to keep the game moving along. And I'm going to explain to you, you know, some shootout holes on Tour 8, because I've been to a shootout almost every time so far. And as you can see, we're doing really well. Opponent's in the same area as I am. He's using a Titan. I think we have a Navigator going. You know, if you don't know about ball value in the game, you know, not that it's a thing, but it is something that I use. So if you've never heard that term, I can hop into the club shop real quick after this game and explain to you what I mean by that. And as you can see here, I use the Golf Clash Notebook app, which helps with like, you know, putting in your elevation and tells you, you know, your ring adjustments. All right, so, you know, this is going to come in real nice. This is going to be right here, you know, on the green. My opponent's probably going to be somewhere right in the same area, pretty close to a drop, you know, but not a big deal. Got the needle speed, hit it perfect. So that's another perfect rough under the belt, right? But now I do play this tour a lot. You know, as a matter of fact, I'm gonna continue to play this tour until I get some banners on expert and pro tournaments. But the funny thing is look, you know, I've played almost 10,000 games on this account, and my Apocalypse is still only a level 4, and it's not even close to a level 5, which is really frustrating. I have another account, you know, in my clan here, and the name of that account is Big Daddy, and I'll show you that one here in a second. But the funny thing about the game and the randomness of the game is that account doesn't even have 4,000 games played, and I also now have an Apocalypse 4 on that account. So, you know, I played what, 6,000 more games on this account, I think, than I have on this one. And yeah, so 3,800 games on this one with an APOC 4, and 9,800 games on my main account with an APOC 4. So, you know, it's a bit random. I actually unlocked the APOC on a gold chest on Tour 6, and then I got a ton of Apocalypse cards one time on a hole-in-one on the golden shot. You know, the golden shot that comes out every Monday. I racked up some APOC cards on there, but you know, I get the same thing on this account, get a hole-in-one on the same thing, and just don't even get Apocalypse cards. So, yeah, I thought that was really weird. All right, so here we go. So this hole is played at 15% elevation, and anytime we're getting the wind blowing from left to right like we are right now, this is the way that I approach this shot. Other than this, I really play it from the right-hand side, and I hop over the sand. All right, so we're gonna move this 9.6 rings. All right, so, you know, like I said, I've been playing really well tonight. This is actually probably my worst shootout shot of the night. So I'm probably not going to win this hole, of course. Going to lose my 9-game winning streak. All right, sorry for being silent there. I was just in the middle of texting. All right, so our opponent's lining up a shot here. He's got a very similar wind that I had. So you can see that him using a Titan, you know, in the situation isn't any better than, you know, me using a Navigator. We got the same wind. We use the same approach. I don't remember what my distance was, but oh yeah, sweet. So we won. You know, I wasn't expecting to win that one. So there you go. That's how I approached that hole in that wind. I probably should have used a little bit of a different approach, but you know, I was kind of rushed there because I was texting. But regardless, 10 in a row. So we're gonna take that and keep it rolling. All right, so here we go. This is a pretty straightforward par 4. You know, not too difficult. This one you're going to use full left spin on the drive. You're going to play at 10% elevation from the tee shot, and you're going to use some left curl. You know, the thing is to get, you know, around these trees right here. You know, this wind really sucks. So we're going to go full top spin, full left spin. We're going to put the yellow ring by the rough, just to give us a little bit of room in case we miss great left. But if we hit great left, we're probably gonna go in the rough anyways. That was a terrible shot. You know, but regardless, again, on this hole, it's not gonna matter if I'm using this ball and what our opponent's gonna be using, because we're gonna be going to a shootout. Even with a really bad drive like that, it's really hard to drive to the green on this hole. You can definitely do it. You know, our opponent's going to see me make a really bad shot, so he's going to bust out a basic ball. Pretty good strategy. He made a bad shot too, but he's going to have a lot easier approach to the hole than I am. You know, this shot's going to suck, but we'll still get it there. Maybe. I was just trying to find any ball guideline that I could get the ball to the fairway. So, you know, we made it to the fairway. We're going to have to chip this in for a tie. I'm not too concerned about it, man. You know, super strong on my chip game. So we're just going to have to pull it out and force a shootout. But like I said, you know, at the beginning of this shot, or this match, we were probably going to go to a shootout anyways. Regardless of my drive, his drive. Now, I'd like to have a better shot, you know, like he did. I just really shit the bed on my drive. All right, so we're going to tee it up right there. And we don't have to move this much, but I know I need to back it up a little bit for the wind push. Let's just go 2 rings. Oh, Dave, come on, man. Boom! There we go. Not bad. So, you see, you can make a really, really shitty drive. Just try to push the ball to the fairway and have confidence on your chip game. You know, that's a nice thing about that club right there, is the accuracy behind it. So, you know, I've been playing at that club for a long time, so I know how the ball rolls. I knew I needed to bring back my target just a little bit in order to get it to the pin. But here we are now. We're going to a shootout. This is my notebook app. So, you know, if you watched some of my videos before, you know how this app works. Probably not going to explain a lot of it tonight. Now this hole right here sucks, man. And there's one reason, because like the green is super glitchy. And I'm going to show you what I mean by the glitchy green. But here's what I do know. The hole's played at 20% elevation. So hell, I'll just explain it to you while he's going. Elevation means your ball is being shot downhill. So just like if you're shooting a ball in real life, like a golf ball, you're hitting a golf ball downhill, the ball's going to be in the air longer. So therefore, the wind is going to push the ball around more, right? Your ball is going to be more affected by the wind. Now, this game uses the same mechanics. You hit a ball downhill, that 7.4 mile an hour wind that he's having right now is going to push the ball around more, you know, if you were shooting the ball flat. So this is 20% downhill. This is pretty steep. You know, we are going to use the same approach as our opponent. He hit a really bad shot. You know, we're going to win regardless of the glitch. You know, he might just forfeit because, you know, he's going to lose this. So, but anyways, here's what I mean. So, you know, I'm at max distance on my sniper, basically. But watch this green. Watch how it goes in, out with the ball guy. You see that crap? You know, like, look at that. You barely move it. In, out, in, out, in, out. So that's pretty annoying. I hate that. 5.2 miles an hour. We're going to move at 6.1 rings. I'm going to use just a little bit of overpower because of the headwind, and a little bit of right curl, or left curl, sorry, because we're getting a right wind push. Geez, tongue twister. But, you know, we're going to be coming in real nice, real smooth, and that's all we had to do to win. So let's see if we can go ahead and get a rematch just for time purposes. But we're totally kicking ass tonight, man. I mean, yeah, that's 11 in a row on Tour 8. And this is the tour that I grind on this account. You know, like I said, I'm trying to wait till I build my Apocalypse before I bump up tours. And I only use Quasars, I only use Navigators. So all that other stuff, Titans, Katanas, Kingmakers, all the balls I buy, I only use that stuff in tournaments, and I will only use those balls in Tour 10. Tour 10 is where you really start to get some tough wind. You know, you run into harder courses, you know, longer courses. So, you know, you do need a little bit more firepower, but, you know, right now on a game like this, you know, like this guy's using a Katana. I mean, here's at the end of the day, our drives are going to be very similar. I can promise you that 50% of the time on this hole, I'm going to eagle it, and my opponent normally doesn't. So, you know, it doesn't matter to me what ball they're using. His drive's going to be the same. You're going to see he's going to try to hit his ball over the sand, which is the exact same way that I'm going to try to play this hole. So you don't need the extra distance this Katana is going to give you in order to achieve the same result, and he drove to sand. So, you know, we're going to go 20% elevation on this hole too. This is actually a pretty significant downhill hole. So 20%, you know, this is what you want to do. You want to hit the ball right here, right? So you don't need to use any overpower, because if you overpower, you might actually hit that rough. But you can go full top spin. You can go full left spin. And if you use like a Quasar, then you do have a little bit of a better drive ability. But I'm just going to go ahead and just stick with my Navigator. My opponent is in the rough, and I don't I like navigators if we go to a shootout better, because it gives you a little bit of wind resistance. But you definitely want to use left curl on this hold, because you don't want to go into the sand like our opponent did, or that rough. So there we go, you know, a really solid drive. We're going to be set up really nicely for an eagle opportunity. And ball value. So ball value, guys. This guy's using a katana. I'm using a navigator. So Golf Clash gives the katana a 3 times value more than a navigator. And I'll show you what I mean right after this. This is actually not going to be an easy shot here. So you may be heading to a shootout, which is cool, because shootouts is where most of you guys go. And it's where you win or lose. Ah, look at that. All right. So, yeah, we're going to go to the shootout. He's going to bring the katana. We're going to be bringing a navigator. And like I was saying, you know, Golf Clash gives his katana a 3 times more value than my navigator. So if you ever look in the club shop, let's say you want to buy 45 navigator balls. 45 navigators cost you 300 gems. Now, if you want to buy 45 katanas, it costs you 900 gems, right? So I can buy 3 times the amount of navigators or quasars that I could if I bought katanas. And if you're playing tours 1 through 9, you don't ever need to use a katana to win a hole. Like literally, you will never need to use a katana, a titan, a kingmaker, or a ball you pay for to win a hole. What you need to do to win a hole consistently is you need to learn the rings and you need to learn elevation. By doing that, that's what gives you the advantage. It's not the ball that gives you the advantage, it's your skill. Now, this hole is played at 15% elevation, okay? And this hole is always played, if you're playing one-on-one play Tour 8, it's always played with a medium distance of your sniper. And what I mean by that, so let's say you're taking a shot with your sniper and you try to push your target up. If it can't go any further up, you would use the top number there for rings. If you had your sniper and you tried to pull your target down, and let's say it switched to your long iron, so your backbone or your Goliath, that means you're at minimum distance of your sniper, so therefore you would use the bottom number. Our opponent just pulled off a really good shot. This is going to be very difficult to beat, so we're probably not going to beat it. I'll just be honest with you. That's really hard to beat on this hole, so kudos to him. He's going to probably snap our streak here at 11 games. But hey, man, that's all right. You can't bitch about winning 11 in a row and then taking a loss. You know, sometimes that just happens, right? You can't win them all. So 6.5 miles an hour, 6.6 rings. Use a little bit more backspin. Okay. That's 5 rings right there. Oh, that's going to be detrimental to our shot. Hitting great left. Not good at all. Oh, shut up. Come on, baby. Let's go. Wow. That is freaking awesome. So the streak stays. Got very lucky. Hit the ball. Great left. Just happened to have the curl right on point. So 12 in a row. Got the hole in one. Just kicking butt, man. Hopefully you're learning some elevation, on these shootouts. Hopefully you're learning how to approach the drives. We're getting, games real quick. We're just moving along. So we just played this hole, right? This is a 20% elevation hole. But man, we've won 12 in a row. That's 3.6 million chips in the bag. And we're just going to keep rolling, man. We're just going to keep rolling. I'm having a lot of fun tonight on here. You know, I love this game. If you guys love this game, man, then, you know, please subscribe for sure. Join our clan. You know, we need people that can put up at least 2,000 points in a season. I know for some people that's a lot, but that's what our clan needs to stay in there. But, yeah, man, come join us. You know, please subscribe. I love doing this. You know, you don't need to get all fancy, you know, on this hole, man. Like, that opponent right there, busting out that kind of shot, that was just silly. You know, this is the approach right here. 20% elevation, 4.3 miles an hour. We're max distance of our extra mile, so we're moving this 2.5 rings. To move the rings, make the wind blow north. Boom, we're blowing north. Put your take shot button as a guide right there in the middle of the target. Move it down to yellow. Each color is 1 ring. 1 ring. Orange means 2 rings. Now we need to go half a ring. All right, so split the blue in half. Move your target down. Now you've adjusted for rings. Remember, right curl, hit the ball perfect. Set yourself up for the next shot for eagle. You see that 20% elevation, man? You know, if you don't play that shot with the 20% elevation, guess what would have happened? If you would have just adjusted it with no elevation and still used rings, you would have probably clipped the rough right there before the bounce that we just did. Now our opponent has a hard shot for an eagle out of the sand. You know, I give this guy basically no chance of making this shot. Good player, though. Good stats. Hit the ball great. Just the wind's just too high. You know, he's going to get a push here. I'd like to make this shot because I told you about 50% of the time I get an eagle on this hole, so I need to put my money where my mouth is. You know, I don't really track the stats, but, you know, it's got to be somewhere close to that. Well, he just assumed I was going to make it, I guess. So there we go. We're picking up a lucky 13 in a row. This is just getting, 13. This is just getting bananas, man. So stick with me until we lose. You know, let's just never lose. Let's keep going. I don't know why I'm in there. You know, hopefully you guys saw the new tournament coming out. I'm super excited about that. We just got off a tournament where people were shooting like negative 33, 34, 35, 36. And I saw somebody shooting minus 39 in Masters. Insane. You know, we're really going to cool down in this next tournament because the par 5s we're looking at are tough. They're going to be long. They're going to be difficult. Now, you know, we don't know what kind of wind we're going to get, you know, so maybe we get some tailwind that helps out. But I'm just telling you guys, it is not going to be easy. You're not going to see people getting like negative 32, 33, 34, 35, I don't think. I'm thinking like negative 28, minus 29 is going to win. All right, so our opponent's using a Titan. You know, we're going to bust out the Navigator. You know, like I said, remember the Titan is valued at what? 3 times this ball. So 4.7 rings. Now, you know, I got to hit this really good to get where I want to go. So I'm going to adjust my rings. We're going to go overpower and let this sucker rip. Great left is not going to affect this shot. It was barely great left. We were getting a wind push to the right anyways. I just need to roll out of the rough onto the fairway and we'll be okay. So there we go. He's got a much easier shot to green than we do. He made a better drive, for sure. And yeah, I was gonna say, this is a shot that you need to rough bump. So if you're ever, you know, on this hole and you're in about the same area our opponent's at right now, you need to use a rough bump because the rough bump gives you the best opportunity for an albatross. You know, but in order to pull the shot off, you have to know rings. Our opponent knows rings. Our opponent must be, yeah, he's pretty good here. Yeah, he's really good. So 58% winning percentage. I can tell by the way he did that backwards adjustment there that this opponent is really good. But he just adjusted way too much. So we need to get to the green. We need to go to another shootout. And we need to win the shootout. But here we go. So, you know, he got to use a rough bump. I don't get to use a rough bump. I just want to get on the green, man. 8.3. We're at max distance of the sniper. You see, I can't push it up anymore. It's as far as it goes. So, you know, you got to use that top number. 9 rings. Is that what it was? Yep. So, the white, 5. 9. Boom, boom. Hit it perfect. Let's go. Oh, yeah. So he's going to putt for an eagle. I'm going to putt for an eagle. We're moving on to the next shootout. The Titan is such a good ball, though. Like, it's such a good ball. It's one of my favorite balls, you know, in the game that you don't have to pay for. But my favorite ball in the game is the Snow Globe. Boom. All right. So, as you can see, par 5. He used a Titan. I used a Navigator. We're both going to a shootout. And I'm just telling you, he's got no advantage with this Titan over my ball. Please give us crosswind or tailwind. Come on. Yes! So, I love this hole, man. I really do. It's played at 30% elevation. We're going to use a rough bump. We're going to try to get the hole in one, okay? So, a hole in one on this hole is achievable as long as you line it up properly and you adjust for that 30%. We're going to play this hole completely different than our opponent, but the way that I'm going to play it is dangerous. If you screw up and hit the ball great right, you are dead on my shot, because if I miss the rough, I'm going to hit the green, I'm going to bounce way past the hole. If I hit great left, my ball's probably going to die in the rough. But we're going to go for a rough bump. If I wasn't recording right now, I would not go for this shot because I could easily beat it by taking the same approach as he did. But I want to show you guys, if your opponent gets close, how to beat them. And you can only play this shot with a Quasar and Navigator if you have tailwind or if you have crosswind. If you have a wind that is blowing headwind, you cannot go for this rough bump with these types of balls because you don't have the power on the ball to adjust the rings. Oh, we hit the ball perfect. We're going to have a great chance for a hole in one. We're definitely going to win the hole for sure. Come on. All right. So close. The ball's going to die right there. It doesn't roll too far when you take that rough bump shot. But you can see a Titan 3 times the value. We just beat it on a par 5. A lot of people see a par 5 and like, oh my gosh, I got to get my Kingmakers out. I got to get my Titans out. You know, I got to get this ball out that I just paid for. You don't need to do it. All you have to do is have skill. That's it. Learn the rings. This is a perfect hole. Let me show you a little trick. Switch to a big topper, okay? 10% elevation. So on Tour 8, always pack a bag with a big topper for this hole. All right, this guy's in C100. But I'm going to show you, watch what our opponent's trying to do here. He's going to try to use his Apocalypse, which has a lot of curl. He's going to try to put, you know, a bunch of side spin on the ball, and he's going to try to hook the ball around the trees. Now, you can make it to the green by doing that shot, It takes a lot of precision. It's very technical to pull this off, okay? And you are not going to be consistent. I'm going to show you how to drive to the fairway, sometimes to the green, 80% of the time. The reason why it's not 100% of the time is because you have to hit the ball perfect with the big topper, because the accuracy is so bad. If you don't hit it perfect, you're not going to get the ball where you want it to go. But this is what you see opponents do all the time on this hole. Very difficult to make this from the bunker or make this from the rough in 2 shots. But I do have the big topper packed because you got to have it on Tour 8 for this hole only. Okay, watch. Yellow ring by the sand, okay? Full top spin. 1 bar to the left always. Zoom out. You need that ball guideline right there, bouncing out of the rough to the fairway. 10% elevation, 7 miles an hour. Max distance, 3.1 rings. Now, if I hit this ball perfect, you are going to see how to dominate this hole and pick up a win almost every single freaking time. Got the perfect. We should see a nice bounce off the fairway, and then we should see a very good roll out of the rough onto where we were going for. Stop. Boom. That is, it rolled a little longer than it normally does. Normally that ball sits there. It came in with some pretty good speed, maybe because of the 7-mile-per-hour wind, but regardless, it doesn't matter if I'm in the back or if I'm in the front of the fairway. The distance from the chip in is about the same, and I'm probably a little closer than what I am right now. But a lot of times that ball will sit on the fringe or sit on the green. So I'm really glad that we got this hole, because for you guys playing Tour 8, normally you and your opponent will always go to a shootout on this hole. But I just showed you a way that if you pack your big topper and 10% elevation and you know how to adjust rings perfectly, major advantage. So look how close we are in the chip in here, man. This is just like, boom. Full top spin. I'll put 1 bar of right side spin just to counter effect that itty bitty push we're gonna get from the wind. Boy, this thing is really moving around a lot. Yeah, I don't like that at all. That's weird. A little glitchy there. So we better drop this. Oh, come on now. Yeah, we were still so close. It didn't matter. We got the eagle. We're picking up another win. I've lost track. I think we're 5 for 5 right now, while I've been streaming. But like I said, I wanted to get online. I'm on fire tonight. I literally can't remember the last time I've had a 14-game winning streak on Tour 8. So I hope this is helping you guys. I really do. You're seeing some shootouts. You just saw a really good strategy hole right there. 15 in a row. Come on, man. Let's go. Oh, yeah. Remember, change your bag back to your extra mile. If you're using the app, change this here. I made the mistake where I changed my bag but forgot to change that, and the rings are totally different. So we're going to be up against foot wedge here. Another par 5. Actually a pretty long par 5, and there's 2 different ways you can play this hole, and it's all going to be about what kind of wind you're getting. So I'm going to show you, if I have time, the 2 different approaches. So tailwind, you're going to go left, guys. Go left on tailwind. The green goes further, all right? The fairway goes further, and it's an easier shot to the green in 2 instead of going right. Going right is the safer approach, which you would use if you're getting like a really heavy crosswind headwind, but we're getting a full tailwind, and we're going to use the same shot as our opponent here, but he did not adjust properly whatsoever. That right there, take a look at his shot. I think he went max overpower. I wasn't paying perfect attention. I was kind of looking at the course to explain it to you guys, but yeah, that was not necessary. So you're still going to adjust, okay? Still going to always adjust, because adjusting is precision. So we're going to play this one 10% downhill again, and that came out to be 5.6 rings. But look how much more fairway we have to go. We are going to use overpower, But when you adjust to 10% here, it's going to bring back your target quite a bit. So when you go into overpower, you see that needle speed is going to be a lot slower than what it normally is when you're at full power of your extra mile. So that's a big advantage of pulling that trigger back, is it slows down the needle speed. And a lot of people, they don't know that. So a lot of people on that one, they're like, oh yeah, I'm getting 12 mile per hour wind. I'm just gonna rip this ball as far as I can. And you go into full overpower, your needle speed is moving super, super fast. It's hard to hit perfect. But you do what I did, and we made ourselves a much easier drive. This guy is in serious trouble. He's gonna have to lay up on the fairway and trust that he can make it from here. And I don't. Yeah, he's just out of control. You see the needle speed, full overpower. You don't need to do that. Just lay up. He made it, but he had a ton of fairway to work with. But you're going to see how we're going to approach this next shot. And I don't remember if this one is 5% downhill, 10% downhill. But with that type of wind, we're going to use the left spin to negate the right wind push. Let's just aim the ball there. It's slightly downhill. So we're going to move this 9.1 rings. I want to be to the right of the pin. Okay. I don't expect to make, the albatross. If I do, sweet. But, I'm definitely not going to make it hitting great left because the wind is pushing left. So I'm going to miss this one. Oh! Missed it just left. I still think, though, if I hit the ball perfect, I think that's going to be a situation to where I came in a little bit too fast and that I would actually hit the pin and not make the albatross. But either way, we know the 5% was right on the elevation because we came in really nice. We came in just a little bit too strong, so maybe a little bit more backspin on that hole, and we stopped. But either way, we're looking really good to pick up 16 wins in a row on Tour 8, and I'm not even sure if I've ever done that before, to be honest with you. If you're still watching, I just want to say I really, really appreciate it. I have like 10 subscribers, which is nothing. But if you can't tell, I love playing the game. It's a great stress reliever for me. Something about the competition, something about trying to, to win. That's how I'm wired. So, let's see if we can get a rematch here. But 16 in a row, I think we're 6 for 6. During this little stint with you guys here on YouTube. I just hopped on because I was on fire. I was like, man. I think I hopped on when I was on what? I don't remember. 10, 11? Heck, I don't know. Anyways. Lost track. I was like, let's see if I can keep the fire going. And I might as well help people along the way. Now, here's a cool hole to show you guys. Because what a lot of people don't know, if you're just starting on Tour 8, is you need to use right spin, okay, on this hole. You're going to play it with 10% elevation, 4.7 rings. No, hell, that's way off. That's not right. I didn't change the miles per hour. 1.8 rings. That's about right there. And what you're also going to do is you're going to use, okay, a little bit of right curl, even though the wind is blowing right. Holy shit. But here is why. This fairway naturally slopes pretty heavy from right to left. You're going to see my ball roll downhill, okay? Now, had we not used right curl, we would have rolled even further downhill, and sometimes you actually roll into the rough right there, which sucks. And depending on which part of the rough you hit, sometimes you can't make it to the green into. But, I'm going to tell you a very, very high percentage of the time on this hole, you're going to be going to a shootout. Not many people ever make the eagle on this hole. It's a difficult eagle. So you're really playing this one for the shootout. Our opponent made a good drive here. But, you're going to see what I'm talking about, how the ball just rolls down. But he got enough distance to where that one didn't matter. Sometimes if you don't put the right distance on your drive, you roll even further down. So we have our sniper. There's minimum distance. There's maximum distance. Try to find it, right there type of area where the ball kind of rolls downhill into the hole. We're going to play this one somewhere between medium and maximum distance. So let's just use a 1-for-1 situation, which means I'm going to use 1 ring for every mile per hour. So 8.3 rings. Got the perfect shot. We'll take that. It's like I slightly adjusted just too many rings. We came in super close, man. So we're really on point tonight. If I'd adjusted that one 8 rings, 8.1 rings, we would have dropped the eagle right there and picked up another win. But all in all, when I'm doing the YouTube thing, I say it all the time, I really like to go to shootouts because the majority of players go to shootouts. So the majority of the time you play this hole, you're going to a shootout. You see our opponent trying to do the same thing I did. But he's just adjusting based off feel of the game. You see how he just quickly pulled his target to the left, and now he's using left curl? Like, why even bring in left curl into this shot? You don't need to do that. So now he's probably going to miss it, Oh, I'm sorry, he brought in right curl. So he's going to miss it way to the right. There is no sense to use right curl because his ball guideline, right? When he was adjusting for his shot there before he took the shot, the ball guideline was going into the hole. So if you just move the rings properly and you just move the ball down perfectly to the center of the target and make a normal shot, if you adjust the rings properly, you make the shot. Like, it's that simple. So he had it, the ball guideline right, and then he just moved his trigger way to the left and then used right curl. It didn't make any sense. Okay, so here we go. We are heading to a shootout. Ooh, this hole's tough. Okay, 15% elevation. This is a shootout hole I'm not really that good at. I can't find the consistency yet, and I haven't played it a ton. It doesn't pop up that much. But every time I play this hole, I know the ball falls to the right side of the green. Now we're getting a pretty good push here to the left. So we're getting a tailwind mixed with the left crosswind. So we're gonna see what happens. I play at 15% in high winds. If this wind was like 5.5 miles an hour or less, I would play at 10%. And I add an extra 5% to a lot of holes on Tour 8 when you have a high wind. It just seems that's just what works out. So, you can read websites, you can look up elevation on holes, yada, 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 and it's going to say, hey, 10%, 20%. Like, that's not a fixed number. You have to find, like, how your ball's getting pushed and stuff like that. And he says good game. So I don't know if he's rubbing in my face that he thinks he's won, but he probably did because, I'm not very good at this hole. I'm just being honest with you guys. But we're at maximum distance of our sniper, so we're going to move 10.3 rings. It's a big ring adjustment. Our opponent, in my opinion, he made a really good shot on this hole. Yeah, see, I stink at this hole. So I tell you what, like, if you're still watching and you're good at this hole, give me some advice, because this hole, I win 50% of the time. It's one of those I don't feel confident when I'm heading into it. But I'm going to stop it right there. I think we won 6 out of 7 games.